The internet is full of strange trends, dances, pranks, memes that go viral overnight. But every once in a while, something darker emerges. It started with a single phrase appearing everywhere: Dubai Porta Potty. At first, it sounded like a joke, but curiosity spread like wildfire. People clicked, and almost everyone who did said the same thing: I wish I hadn't seen that. What they discovered wasn't just shocking, it was disturbing, twisted, and far beyond anything the internet had seen before. Influencers flying first-class, luxury yachts, glittering desert villas, and behind the glamour, something no one wanted to believe was real. This is the story of money, power, and the ugliest corners of social media, a story that will make you question everything you think you know about fame, wealth, and just how far some people will go when the price is high enough. At first, no one knew what Dubai Porta Potty really meant. It was just a strange phrase buried in comment sections, hidden inside Twitter threads, whispered about in TikTok videos that got mysteriously deleted hours after posting. But the curiosity was too strong. People kept searching, clicking, sharing. Slowly, the details began to surface. Influencers bragging about all expenses paid trips to Dubai. Screenshots of private messages offering hundreds of thousands of dollars for exclusive arrangements. The pieces of the puzzle didn't make sense at first, until someone connected the dots. These trips weren't for brand deals or photo shoots. They weren't just vacations. They were invitations to something secret, something hidden behind luxury yacht doors and desert villa walls. And the internet's reaction was immediate: shock, disgust, and fascination. Each new clue, each leaked DM, each blurry photo only pulled more people into the rabbit hole. The question wasn't just what was happening, but why so many influencers were saying yes. Then the truth started to emerge, piece by piece, and it was worse than anyone imagined. The so-called Dubai Porta Potty wasn't just a meme. It was an allegation of extreme, degrading acts behind closed doors. Stories surfaced of influencers being flown first class, picked up in blacked-out cars, and taken to secret locations, palatial villas, luxury yachts, even isolated desert estates. At first, it sounded like the perfect dream trip: designer gifts, fine dining, five-star hotels. But soon came the requests: strange, humiliating, unthinkable. Some were offered up to $1 million to participate. Others admitted they agreed because they couldn't turn down that much money. The rumors painted a disturbing picture: groups of wealthy men paying for their darkest fantasies, and influencers forced to endure things most people wouldn't dare to describe out loud. Screenshots leaked, blurred videos went viral. People online couldn't look away, but they couldn't stomach it either. It was no longer just gossip. It had become one of the internet's most horrifying open secrets, and every new revelation made it harder to tell where the truth ended and the nightmare began. As the videos and testimonies spread, outrage erupted. Social media split into two camps: those condemning the influencers for agreeing to such acts, and those furious that anyone would exploit them in the first place. The scandal wasn't just about shock value anymore. It had become a debate about morality, money, and power. Then came the voice that would ignite even more controversy. Omar Al-Fahad, a well-known Dubai businessman, broke his silence. In a now viral post, he called the accusations insulting and unfair. "I am from Dubai. I can afford to fly influencers here," he wrote. "But this idea that we all share the same disgusting fetish is a lie. You are stereotyping an entire culture." His words struck a nerve. Some applauded him for defending Dubai's reputation, while others mocked him, saying he was just protecting the city's wealthy elite. The argument raged on. Was this an isolated fetish among a few rich men, or a symptom of something much larger? News outlets jumped on the story. Talk shows debated it. Suddenly, Dubai wasn't just a glamorous tourist destination. It was at the center of a global morality play, and everyone had an opinion. Then came the moment that changed everything: the so-called evidence. Blurry, shaky clips began circulating online, claiming to show what really happened on these trips. They were hard to watch. Some were clearly fake, others impossible to verify, but together they created a disturbing collage of yacht parties gone wrong, women crying in bathrooms, and men's voices laughing in the background. Screenshots of private chats leaked too, showing influencers negotiating prices, flights, and terms for what they called exclusive experiences. The internet exploded. Some said this was the smoking gun, proof that the rumors were real. Others warned that these could be staged videos made just to shock people and go viral. But once those clips went live, There was no turning back. The story wasn't just trending anymore, it was everywhere. Talk shows dissected every frame. News anchors blurred faces and read out transcripts on air. For the first time, even people who had avoided the topic were forced to confront it. Whether real or fake, the images burned into people's minds. The Dubai Porta Potty scandal was no longer just a rumor. It had become a worldwide obsession. When the noise online finally settled, what remained were the voices of the people who had actually lived it. Some influencers began to speak out, not as proud participants, but as survivors of an experience that left them shaken. One woman described how she was promised a glamorous weekend, private jets, luxury suites, endless shopping. But the moment she landed, the tone changed. She was escorted to a villa, stripped of her phone, and given a list of expectations. She admitted she stayed because the money offered was life-changing, but confessed she cried the entire flight back home. "I can't erase what I saw, what I had to do," she said in a trembling voice. No amount of money feels worth it now. But not everyone felt shame. Some influencers bragged openly, posting cryptic captions about easy money and flaunting their new designer bags. Their followers were divided. Some called them brave for being honest, others called them sellouts. The scandal stopped feeling like a mystery and started feeling like a mirror. People began asking hard questions. Was this exploitation or choice? Were these women victims or willing participants chasing a lifestyle they couldn't otherwise afford? And most disturbingly, what did it say about us, the millions of viewers who turned their humiliation into viral entertainment? And cultural critics stepped in, calling the scandal a symptom of a bigger sickness in modern life. This wasn't just about Dubai. It was about the influencer economy, a world where fame is currency, and anything, even dignity, can be bought for the right price. It was about how social media rewards outrage, shock, and humiliation, turning other people's darkest moments into viral entertainment. Bloggers called it a warning sign of how far society had drifted from its moral center. Psychologists pointed out how quickly disgust turned into obsession, how millions of people who were horrified still clicked, watched, shared, and joked about it, making the trend even bigger. For some, it was proof of how low we've sunk. For others, it was just another viral moment to scroll past. But one thing was clear, this was no longer just a trend. It had become a cultural mirror, forcing everyone who saw it to ask the same question. What kind of world are we building when this is what goes viral? In the end, the Dubai Porta Potty scandal became more than just a grotesque rumor. It became a test for influencers, for the wealthy men who paid them, and for us, the audience who couldn't look away. The videos may eventually disappear, the hashtags may stop trending, but the questions it raised will stay with us. Who do we blame, the people offering the money, or the ones taking it? Or do we blame ourselves, the millions who clicked, shared, laughed, and made it all go viral? Because every view, every meme, every shocked reaction turns someone else's humiliation into entertainment. And maybe that's the darkest part of all. Maybe the real porta potty isn't in Dubai. Maybe it's in our feeds, in our clicks, in the way we consume other people's pain, shame, and trauma, as if it's just another form of content. This story was shocking. It was disturbing. It was hard to believe. But it was also a mirror, reflecting how far society is willing to go for money, for clout, for 15 seconds of attention. So, ask yourself this before you scroll to the next scandal. What would you do if the price was high enough?